Hi everyone, and welcome to today's webinar presented by Artwork Archive, Art Collection Management Best Practices for Academic Institutions. And I'm just going to take a moment here to make sure that you can hear me all right. If you can't, just let me know through the Q&A box. All right, great. So, a little bit about myself. My name is Elysian, and I'll be leading today's webinar. I'm the head of growth at Artwork Archive in Denver, and my passion is making culture more accessible to the public. My family's in academia, so I naturally ended up in academic institutions. I worked for my alma mater's Museum of Art at Middlebury. I completed my master's in public humanities at Brown and served as curator for Brown and RISD exhibition spaces. I also worked at the MFA Boston, led a public art program for New England Foundation for the Arts, and made online art classes for Craftsy. And now I'm at Artwork Archive and giving you this webinar. So the agenda for today's webinar. First is the why. So why care about art collection management systems? And good news, you are probably ahead of the curve on this agenda, attending this webinar in the first place to learn more. Second is the what. What tools make streamlined art collection management possible? And what best practices save you time, get organized, and share your collection efficiently? And the how. How can you implement these best practices? So speaking of best practices, when looking at your collection management system, these are the things that we recommend it does. So a good database system tracks all of your important info, is accessible anywhere by multiple users, and generates and shares reports with little effort. And lastly, is robust but easy to use. We like to joke that it has tools a registrar expects, but the tools are so easy that an intern can use them. And one thing I'd like to emphasize here is the accessibility piece, the second bullet. I'm pausing here because there are two things I want to call out. One is accessibility anywhere. If you're limited to one computer, you are a prisoner of your own single device. You're tethered to your desktop. And the second piece is accessible by multiple users. Online tools give multiple users access to information and the ability to edit from anywhere. Online tools foster collaboration. You can't collaborate on one computer. So one thing I want to just share in the beginning is that I'll be using Artwork Archive for examples because that is the collection management system I know best and the system that allows us to give you screenshots. Artwork Archive is an online art collection management system that institutions like Brown, RISD, USC, University of Michigan, and others use to track their artwork, store documentation, generate reports, and showcase their artwork. The best practices I'll highlight involve object provenance tracking, contact and location management, reminders and schedules, and maintenance reports. And one thing I want to emphasize is the purpose of an online collection management system is to manage and share all details from one central database. And you'll find that is going to be a key theme throughout this webinar. So why care, right? From the first bullet. Well, in order to be accredited, your institution needs 5 core documents, 2 of which are disaster preparedness and a collections management policy. Having everything, piece provenance, insurance details, location information in one centralized place is key to that. And so best practice is to make sure your information is accessible so that you never lose track by centralizing all of your artwork details, images, and documents in one place it is accessible. You'll always be prepared. You'll have details at the ready to share with colleagues, donors, students, etc. And you don't have to search through desktop folders or manila folders anymore, which can be quite laborious. And you'll create a living history of your collection and preserve it for future generations to come. I'm going to pop out for 1 second and bring us into a piece record. to show you what this can look like. So if you've already been in a collection management system, you know that there's key details to track like artist, name, size, medium, subject matter, type, et cetera, et cetera. And that is true here in this Artwork Archive account. I also want to point out that within images, you can also store up to 10 images per piece. So for this sculptural work, you have a close-up, you have a picture of the maquette, and then you can have a picture of it on loan. This painting, we only have one image, which is why I jumped into another object record. The other thing to call out is that everything that you upload into your object record should be easily searchable and findable. And that's even within the description. So say you couldn't remember what piece was at the National Gallery in London. If you were to search for National Gallery in London, this piece would pop up. So, you know, it's not just title or artist name that helps you find the pieces that you're looking for. It can just be a keyword within your description or your notes. One other thing to call out here above is the status. So this is great for you to organize your loans. You can also track de-accessions with the destroyed or archive status. Both will remove that piece from your inventory and place it in a hidden section so that it doesn't have to, it's accessible, but it doesn't have to muddy up your inventory. One other thing to note about images is, like I showed, you can store up to 10 images per piece, but you also have access to the images attached to the piece record. So right now, if you have images on hard drives or on desktop folders and you have to click around to find it, you no longer have to do that. It's all attached to your object record in one place, and you can view it, download it. You can also share it from here. So say someone from college advancement is inquiring about a donated piece, you can send the image directly to them from your account. I'm going to scroll up to the top right. Another best practice is to make sure you're tracking your donation or purchase information, which you can do so along with locations and appraisal history. So every 5 years, getting those works appraised, and you can keep track of those on your object record. And we'll also get a little into location and exhibition history a little bit more. Maybe this is a detail that hasn't come up before, but with an online collection management system, you can also track runs and reproductions. So if you are creating posters or t-shirts for exhibits, commemorative events, etc., you can track them there. And we here at Artwork Archive often get asked if you can store additional documents. And the answer is yes. You can upload any type of file in this additional files section. It's a great place to store documents like contracts with artists, videos from a commemorative event, or an art history class syllabus that included the piece. And here you'll see that a donor letter is attached, as well as a certificate of authenticity. Which is another best practice to make sure that you have all deeds of gift or bills of sale information attached to your object to prove its authenticity later down the road if need be, especially for insurance. And we'll get into maintenance records a little bit later. So how do you get information, all this information into the system? It doesn't have to scare you. It doesn't have to be laborious. We actually do a data migration, which I'll get into later. But to enable best practices for documenting all the information for your pieces, you can either, for Artwork Archive, for example, just click New Piece, enter all the information that you have for the work. And you can also use, to save time, a bulk load tool, which enables you to get 20 pieces into the system at once, and that's led by uploading images to represent the piece. So let's get back into the slideshow. All right, so the next slide speaks to filtering and collections. So one of the benefits of an online collection management system is the ability to filter and sort information to find what you need quickly, even with thousands of works. And so if I scroll up here, you'll see that there are different filters. You can filter by status, artist, location, medium, etc. And then the sort in the upper right-hand corner, you can sort by artist name, the date that it was added to your inventory, to your collection, by price. And then with collections, the collection feature is a simple way to group works for, say, exhibitions. You can also create collections for things like de-accessions. Once the information is organized in categories, you can share it easily. For instance, if the science department is interested in loaning works for their building, and the chair of the department expressed interest in floral pieces, you can create a collection of all of your florals available for loan and share it as an inventory report. So down here in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a collection for floral pieces. And so it's all grouped in one place, easy to share. Another best practice is to stop the art scavenger hunt, to always know where your artwork is. If you have artwork across campus, probably is it on loan, most likely in storage, very promising, yes. So you want to track its location. You can also track sublocations and know what drawer within storage the print lives, know what office has the campus winter landscape, etc. And I'm going to pop out and show you actually a example from one of our users. My computer will just allow me. There it is. My computer is being quite slow, sorry. I'm just going to try to pull up that example one more time. Okay, well, I'll show it later because for some unknown reason, my computer, of course, is being persnickety and not showing, but I was going to show you an example from Brown's account, which was their public health building. And here on the right-hand side, luckily I have a screenshot, you can see the various pieces that are at that location. All right. So another advantage of location records is, like I mentioned, you can add sublocations. You can attach documents like floor plans, photographs, etc. You can create labels for exhibits, shipping, and storage. And again, one of the things I was going to show you is this is the locations tab within Brown's Creative Arts Center. And you can see the various places that works are located and that they're tracking. You can see how many pieces are at each location. And if they wanted to track, they could have the address and the contact listed as well. So I'm going to take a break, or rather a pause, and call out here some of the secret weapons when it comes to tracking location info that help you out. One that I already touched upon a little is around storage facilities. So when it comes to storage, you'll always know what crate or bin or drawer your artwork is in. You don't even have to go down to the storage facility to take inventory. You can do it from your computer, your phone, wherever you are. And the same goes for sublocations. You'll know in what office an artwork resides or on what floor before setting foot in the building. Best of all, tracking market value for the pieces, which you can do, allows you to see the cumulative value for one location. And our users share that they save a lot of time by creating labels, as the last bullet shows, with just a click of a button, whether it be for exhibits or slapping a label on the work if you're shipping it out for a loaned exhibit. So this is a huge need and feature, maintenance recording. I bet we've all laid witness to a kinetic sculpture meeting an unfavorable end from perhaps an intoxicated student or a child or even adult scratching a sculpture during commencement, or just witnessed art collection aging, paint lifting, colors fading, dirt collecting on bronzes, etc. So it's crucial for us to track the maintenance and to properly conserve these works. And with Artwork Archive's maintenance records, you can record what happened, who did it, and how much it cost. And you can upload key files like treatment plans. You can also schedule upcoming conservation efforts. Say a bronze needs to be cleaned and buffed every 2 years. You can set a reminder every 18 months to schedule and get in touch with the conservator to make sure it's done. You can also track the maintenance costs. So perhaps you have to make the case and the pitch for increasing budget for conservation and maintenance to your collection. Being armed with the information, as you can see here in the bottom right-hand corner, the total cost of all maintenance that's been done to your collection, better enables you to make the case. You can also see the collective maintenance that's been done on one piece here in this piece record in the upper right-hand corner. So one-off maintenance is one thing, but every day, every hour, every minute, we should be safeguarding our collection. And what does that mean? You need a holistic overview of your collection, and you can have that by entering all of your information in one place, in one database. So that's having financials and insurance information all accessible at the ready, because unfortunately, you never know when disasters strike, and you don't want to wait until it's too late. So disasters do happen, whether that be fire, floods, theft, loss, etc. We just came off a tail end of a lot of fires and hurricanes and flooding around the country. And so you want to make sure that if something unfortunately were to happen, that you would have the information at the ready to protect your collection. And that would be insurance and financial documents. And the other piece of it is being able to inform your board, accountants, insurance brokers, other stakeholders with information. And it's nice to know that you can create tailored reports with just a click of a button to share that information. So I popped in to the two-piece reclining figure earlier and gave you a little glimpse of the donation info and the appraisal history. And so the good news is that you can have all of that in one place. And even if paper records get destroyed, it will be saved digitally in your database. I mentioned de-accessions a little bit earlier. And so another best practice is to be prepared for them. And so our collection management tools like Artwork Archive help you advocate for your collection. If you're tracking maintenance and its cost, you can make the case for de-accessioning a piece and record all that information for future conversations. You'll have a conservator's treatment plans and recommendations attached to the object record. And you can organize all of your de-accessions in one group, either using tags or creating a collection. We like to say that out of sight does not have to mean out of mind. So here within the screenshots, we have an inventory report of all the de-accession pieces, perhaps going to the director of your art museum. And then up here in the upper right-hand corner, you can also search for your de-accessioned pieces as well and find them quite quickly. Another best practice, another thing that's very important is to share information easily and often. So templates help you do that and help you save time. When it comes to creating reports, we've all probably made our share of mail merges and PowerPoints. And the good news is with an online art collection management system, you don't have to do that from scratch. You don't even have to open up those applications. With a few clicks of a button, you can create reports within your accounts like inventory lists, portfolio pages, maintenance reports, and wall and address labels. And I'm going to pop out and show you how easy it is to create a report. So if I go to pieces, an inventory report, you can name it here and decide what information you want to include as I scroll down. Perhaps this is for a class, and it is all of your black and white photographs for a photography class. For students, perhaps you don't want to show the price, but you do want to show the condition and the condition notes. Maybe this week they're focusing on preserving photographs, black and white photographs. And then it's really easy to find the pieces that you need in the report, especially if you've been using the statuses and assigning subject matter, medium. You can pull up all of your photos right here. And then you would just add them and generate the report, and it would live here within your reports. Just to give you an overview of all the different types of reports you can create, here they are. And as you create them, they will live here in the reports tab. So we often get asked a question that comes up often is if tools like this can help create resources for students and classes. And the answer is yes. So I just gave the example of the black and white photography class. You can create a report of all of those black and white photos for the intro to photography class, or you can pull, say, all of your Russian artists for a Russian lit class visiting the museum. And you can print the reports with images and artwork details and share it with the students when they visit, or send it to the professor for them to distribute before the class. Another important best practice is to monitor your investment. No one wants to be an accountant. I mean, even accountants probably. So online art collection management tools help you keep track of financials and insurance documents to enable better bookkeeping, tracking purchases, donations, de-accessions. You can track your appraisals. And then you can also coordinate with college advancement. The other thing that you can do too is if you are selling artwork, student artwork, specifically, say for a fundraiser or a student show, you can track those sales too within a system. And it's very easy to, like, quote unquote, take care of business with these tools. So speaking of college advancement, contact management tools on the go help you tremendously with that, with communicating to other stakeholders on campus. So you can share important information about donations and donors. So you'll always have key details on hand. You can create donation reports, and you can easily create mailing lists for college advancement or for your own museum. And here is an example of a contact record. You can see it's an alum. Mr. Ferrer has donated pieces to your collection. And as he donates more and more, you'll notice perhaps a trend of the types of works he is donating. So say he donates a lot more ballet paintings. If you have a ballet exhibition coming down the pipeline, you know who to turn to if you need, say, a loan in another piece within your exhibition. And then with contacts, you can also track important artist details, have contact information for your art professionals like appraisers, conservators, shipping companies, etc. They'll all be stored within your account and easily accessible. Another best practice is do not clog up your brain with unnecessary to-dos or tasks, or maybe throw out the sticky notes and the paper. You can set it to forget it with a scheduler. Within Artwork Archive, we enable you to add custom reminders so you never miss a beat or a deadline, and you can identify your important to-dos. You can access important dates, view your upcoming projects, and sync with your calendar. We also send you a weekly email every Monday with your to-dos that are coming down the pipeline. So perhaps it's a grant proposal or artwork drop-off. You never forget it. And it's quite easy to add a reminder. If you just click the button up here in the upper left-hand corner and enter the date and the message, you'll be able to remind yourself of those important to-dos, especially around maintenance, like we discussed earlier. One thing to preface with this slide is by default, all of your information is private, but you can make it public if you wish. Your profile can be integrated into your college or university website, or it can be hosted on our Discovery platform. And it's just another avenue and venue for you to show off your university, your college's collection. And as you can see here on in the image to the right, you can showcase the works. And if I were to click into a work, I would have a larger view along with other information, like perhaps location. You can also have an About It section to inform the public about your collection. There's news, which is like a mini blog. So say you have a walking tour coming up or a special event, you can post it there. And people can also search through through your works by collections that you have created or by artists. So one thing here is that sure, best practices are about uploading, storing, and sharing information, but another best practice is making sure that your tools are up to speed on your needs. So taking a moment to think, is your collection system working for you? And questions to ask here in the slide that we propose: are you spending too much? Are you tied to one desktop? Limiting collaboration? Do you have to call customer support every time you want to generate a report or do something new? Are you paying for tools that you're not using? Are you behind on upgrades? And if you've answered yes, and you've been thinking about moving away from your system, we want to encourage you to not let data migration scare you if that's one of the reasons why you're not making the move. We know here at Artwork Archive, people convert from systems like FileMaker, Art Systems, Past Perfect, and Bark on a daily basis, and we help them migrate their data. A free import plan comes with every organization plan. A free import, rather, comes with every organization plan. So data migration doesn't have to be the reason to not enable yourself to follow these best practices and best preserve and protect and organize your collection. So speaking of data migration, one thing that keeps people from it is a concern about security. And we want you to know that data protection is a crucial best practice of collection management, and that is why we take it so seriously at Artwork Archive. So we here keep your data safe and secure. It's one of our biggest priorities, and we do it with the most advanced security and data protection technologies available. And one thing I really want to stress here, and I'll take a breather and a pause, is that your data belongs to you. Your data is your data. And here at Artwork Archive, we don't hold our users captive. We want people to use Artwork Archive because they generally feel like they're benefiting. So you can leave at any time. You can bring your data to another system. You can also have a hard copy if you wish. You can download your data at any time. So if you think Artwork Archive can help you meet your art collection management goals and best take care of your collection, here is our soft pitch. You can date us. We have a free 30-day trial. We offer a lifetime 30% discount to nonprofits. It's been a mission and a priority for us to make our tools accessible to cultural institutions that are doing such great work in our communities. And our plans start at just $24 a month. So you can sign up and review our features at the link provided at artworkarchive.com/organizations. You can also send any questions to me. And we also have a YouTube channel filled with some video tutorials. If there's a tool that you found particularly helpful or intriguing, you can learn more about it on our YouTube channel. So we have reached the end of this webinar. I have a moment for questions if there are any. And again, my email is elysian@artworkarchive.com. So you can send questions as they come up later. And then this is the time to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time to sit with me virtually, digitally, for this webinar on best practices for art collection management. I hope that there was some tidbits that you came away with. Again, we are always available to answer any questions, or if you have any feedback on the webinar, I'd love to hear it. And I hope you have a wonderful day ahead of you. Thank you.